air.
Really?
Yeah, they have a special organ in the roof of their mouths
Oh.
that helps them pick up on these really subtle scent cues.
Wow. So they're literally tasting the air
They are.
to get information about other deer.
It's like a built-in chemical analysis lab.
That is insane.
I know. And here's another fun fact that blew my mind.
Okay.
Can actually be bred by multiple bucks.
What?
Yeah.
Seriously.
Sometimes even twins can have different fathers.
Oh my gosh, nature is crazy.
I know, right?
So I guess that explains why there's so much competition between the bucks during the rut.
Totally. It's all about passing on those genes.
Right. But unfortunately, not every buck gets a happy ending.
Right.
So we were just talking about how can actually have twins from different fathers.
Right.
Let's talk about a complicated family tree.
It really is. It's like a soap opera out there in the woods.
But it really makes you wonder how they keep track of who's who.
I know.
In the deer world.
It just shows how much we still have to learn about these animals.
Right.
Oh.
We tend to think of them as being these simple creatures,
but their lives are full of drama and complexity.
Totally.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's not all fun and games in the deer world.
Yeah.
I think we have to talk about the elephant in the room, or should I say the prion?
Oh, yeah.
In the forest.
That's a good one.
Chronic wasting disease.
Yeah.
CWD. That's the harsh reality.
It's a serious threat to white-tailed deer.
It is.
And it's something that everyone who cares about these animals needs to be aware of.
Absolutely.
So the article described it as a prion disease.
Yeah.
Which sounds pretty scary.
Right. So what exactly are prions?
Okay. So prions are...
And why are they so dangerous?
Basically misfolded proteins.
Okay.
And they can cause other proteins to misfold as well.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a chain reaction of bad folding.
Okay.
And when this happens in the brain, it can cause serious damage, leading to neurological problems and eventually death.
So it's not a bacteria or a virus.
Nope.
It's just this messed up protein that can spread from deer to deer.
That's what makes it so hard to control.
That is scary.
Yeah.
So even if an infected deer dies, the prions can still be out there, potentially infecting other deer.
Persist in the environment for a long time.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
And there's no cure.
Unfortunately, no.
For CWD.
Yeah.
So once a deer's infected, it's a death sentence.
It's a death sentence. It's heartbreaking.
That's really sad. Is there anything we can do to stop it from spreading?
Well, researchers are working really hard to understand CWD and find ways to manage it.
Okay.
But it's a tough challenge. I mean, right now, the main strategy is to actually reduce deer populations in areas where the disease is prevalent.
Okay.
Which, can be controversial.
Of course.
But it's often seen as the most effective way to slow the spread.
Yeah. It's a tough situation.
It is.
With no easy answers.
No.
But I guess it's a good reminder that we have to be responsible when it comes to managing wildlife.
Absolutely.
We can't just assume everything's going to be fine if we just leave to its own devices.
We have to be proactive.
Speaking of managing wildlife.
Okay.
You know what else is really important?
What's that?
Understanding a deer's diet.
Oh, yeah.
It might not sound as exciting as tracking the rut or studying antler growth.
Yeah.
But it's crucial.
It's so important.
For their health.
Yeah.
And survival.
Absolutely. So tell me more about this deer diet deep dive.
Okay. So remember how we talked about their amazing four-chambered stomach?
I do.
That's the key to their ability to thrive. On such a diverse diet, they can efficiently extract nutrients from all sorts of plant material.
From tender leaves and grasses to tougher woody browse.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
The article mentioned that acorns are a real powerhouse food.
Oh, yeah.
For deer, especially in the fall.
Acorns are great.
It's like their version of carb loading before a marathon.
Exactly. They're packed with carbohydrates and fats. Yeah. Giving them that energy they need to build up those fat reserves for winter.
Yeah. And it makes sense that their digestive system is so efficient.
Yeah.
Because they have to eat a lot to fuel those amazing bodies and those incredible antlers. But wait, weren't we just talking about bezoars?
Oh, yeah.
Those weird stomach stones?
The stomach stones?
Doesn't that suggest that maybe their diet isn't always perfect?
That's true.
Yeah.
Azores are a reminder that even with a super efficient digestive system, things can go wrong sometimes.
So those basors are kind of like a little glitch in the matrix?
Yeah, you could say that.
Of their digestive system?
Yeah, for sure.
But overall, their ability to process a wide range of food is a major advantage.
Absolutely.
Allowing them to thrive in a variety of habitats.
Exactly.
Speaking of thriving, we talked earlier about those old school classifications of white-tailed deer subspecies.
Right.
It sounds like those classifications might be a bit outdated.
Yeah.
Based on what the article was saying about DNA analysis.
So DNA analysis is giving us a much clearer picture of the genetic relationships between different populations of white-tailed deer.
So are those old charts with all the different subspecies? Basically just a starting point.
Yeah, it's more accurate to think of white-tailed deer as existing on a genetic continuum with gradual variations across their range. You know, it's important to remember that deer don't recognize our human-made boundaries.
Of course.
They move freely across landscapes, interbreeding and mixing their genes.
It's like trying to draw lines on a map to define where one type of tree ends and another begins. It's not always that clear cut.
Right. Nature loves to
blur
the lines.
And that's part of what makes it so fascinating to study.
Absolutely.
Speaking of fascinating, let's revisit the topic of antlers.
Oh, yeah.
We talked about how diet plays a role in antler growth. But I'm curious about the whole cycle of growth and shedding.
Yeah.
It's pretty mind-blowing.
It is.
That they can grow those huge antlers and then just drop them every year.
It's remarkable. Antler growth is one of the most incredible examples
of regeneration in the animal kingdom.
So what triggers this whole process?
Well, it all comes down to hormones.
Okay.
Specifically testosterone.
Okay.
So as testosterone levels rise in the spring and summer, antlers begin to grow.
Okay.
Covered in this velvety layer full of blood vessels to nourish that growing bone.
So that velvet isn't just for looks.
Nope.
It's actually essential.
It's essential for antler growth.
For their growth.
Yeah.
That's cool. And then as fall approaches and testosterone levels drop, the velvet dries up and sheds, revealing those hardened antlers that we're all familiar with.
Exactly. It's like they're getting a whole new headpiece every year.
Right. But why do they shed them in the first place?
Well, carrying around those huge antlers all year round would be a lot of work.
Right.
You know, it takes a lot of energy to grow and maintain them.
Yeah.
So shedding them in the winter allows the deer to conserve energy. During
when food is scarce.
So it's like they're trading in their fancy headwear for a more practical winter coat.
Exactly.
That's really cool.
Oh, I know, right? It's all about adapting to the changing seasons.
And speaking of adapting, we were talking earlier about how deer communicate through scent. It's amazing to think that they have this whole other level of communication that we humans are just mostly oblivious to.
It's like they're having secret conversations right under our noses.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around the fact that the scent from their interdigital gland, the one between their toes, changes with age.
It's amazing. It's like they're leaving behind.
It's like their own little scent-based ID card.
Exactly, a little ID card.
That's crazy.
I know. And it's not just about age. I mean, they can communicate all sorts of things through these scent markings. Their dominance, their reproductive status, even their individual identity.
It's like a complex chemical language.
It is.
That we're only beginning to understand.
We're just scratching the surface.
That's so cool.
I know.
And remember that Fleeman response?
Oh, yeah.
Where they curl their lip to taste the air?
The Fleeman response, that's how they pick up on those subtle pheromones.
Right. Especially from the does.
Especially from the does. It's like their way of getting a direct line to the gossip.
They're probably picking up on all sorts of juicy details. That we're completely missing out on.
Right? It's
like they're having their own party.
Yeah.
And we weren't invited.
Exactly.
That's hilarious.
It's a reminder that there are entire sensory worlds out there that we humans can't even perceive.
That's crazy. It makes you wonder.
I know.
What else are we missing?
I know. It's humbling and exciting all at the same time.
Yeah, it really makes you realize that we humans are just one small part of this incredibly complex web of life. We've got our own way of experiencing the world, but there are all these amazing creatures out there with their own unique perspective.
Sometimes I think we get so caught up in our own human-centric view that we forget to appreciate all the wonders that exist beyond our limited senses.
It's like we were just talking about the Fleeman response. It makes me wonder what other incredible sensory abilities are out there that we haven't even discovered yet.
It's mind-boggling to think about.
Well, speaking of mysteries, we've been diving deep into the world of white-tailed deer today.
We have.
And I have to say, it's been a real eye-opener.
Yeah, me too.
I thought I knew a fair bit about these creatures, but I've learned so much from all these articles.
It's amazing how much depth there is.
I know, right?
To even the most seemingly familiar creature.
We've debunked myths about subspecies and the rut. We've explored their incredible senses.
I know, it's crazy.
And that crazy digestive system.
And four-chambered stomach.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
We even delved into the secret language of scents.
Right.
It's like we've been given this glimpse into a whole other world.
It really is. And I think that's one of the most rewarding things about studying nature. Is constantly challenges our assumptions and expands our understanding of the world around us.
Couldn't agree more. It's not just about satisfying our curiosity, though, is it?
No.
This knowledge also has practical implications for how we manage and conserve these amazing creatures.
The more we understand about deer behavior, their biology, the challenges they face, the better equipped we are to make informed decisions about their future.
Like we talked about chronic wasting disease.
Right.
It's clear that we need more research to understand how to effectively control this devastating disease.
Yeah, and it's a reminder that we can't take these creatures for granted. Their populations are influenced by so many factors, from habitat loss and disease to hunting pressure, even climate change.
It's a complex web of interconnected issues.
Yeah.
And we have a responsibility to be informed.
Absolutely.
And to make choices that support the health of deer populations.
For sure. And I think that's a great takeaway from our deep dive today.
Okay.
It's all connected from the tiniest details of their biology to the vast landscapes they inhabit.
Yeah.
Everything plays a role in this intricate balance of nature.
Well said.
Okay.
Well, speaking of balance, I think it's time for us to wrap up this deep dive.
Sounds good.
We've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
And I hope you've enjoyed the journey.
I have.
As much as we have.
Me too.
A huge thank you to all of you,
yes,
our listeners, for sending in these intriguing articles.
Yeah. Keep those sources coming.
It's your curiosity that fuels these deep dives. And we can't wait to see what other wonders
what else you got
you'll share with us next time.
Until then, happy exploring.